Okay, welcome back to the live streaming commentary here as we are on track now with the FIM Asia Supermoto Super Chrono for the top 6 riders from qualifying to decide who gets the pole position. And been cut down from 30 minutes to 20 minutes as on screen now. You see a layout of the 1.2 kilometre track here at CHANGHUA in Taiwan with 12 corners, 11 corners, pardon me, depending which way you look at it. But who can stop Lewis Cornish? That is the question.
That is a question. I know that Kairi Zakaria and Trakan Tangtong in particular have been trying to figure out how to knock him off the top spot, but they haven't found the answer yet.
And Lewis Cornish was very keen to get out on track when I just went down there to have a look and see how he was going. All systems go, he said. Very happy with the track, very happy with the bike. He hasn't been really putting a foot wrong, and his team behind him in the Kenny Motorsports team been doing an excellent job of preparing this brand new motorcycle.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if Lewis doesn't put in a 106 lap during this session, and he's looking very determined. We saw him going around just now.
He looks like he's got that groove in there that no one else can find at the moment around this circuit. Purpose-built go-kart track, as well as a long-established supermoto section there of around 350, 400 metres, and holding up to the torture of these machines very, very well.
We've got one of the top riders on screen there, Kairi Zakaria, the Malaysian, who's been going very well since this championship began this year. It started in Thailand over this very tricky jump. He's one of 3 or 4 riders that take that big dirt jump very, very well. It's,
yeah, at full tilt by the look of it too. But as we saw yesterday too, Baz, they were hitting that jump too fast, and because of the way the ramp is actually manufactured, they were getting too much hang time, and they were actually losing time. So even talking to Lewis Cornish, and when we told him about it yesterday, they all took a different approach to it to get the length instead of getting the height. And that is one reason that the lap times are coming down, and they're getting that even better at the moment. A 106.529
so there you
straight
go.
into it.
I was right already.
Well, yep. So 106, but then saying that, Tricorn's into the 107s as well, so that's his quickest time of the weekend.
Yes, it is.
So,
yeah.
And also for, well, I think that's a bit of a misquote there for Hasroy Osman at the moment, if he's done a 1 minute lap. But
yeah.
That'll correct itself at the moment. But Lewis Cornish, a 106.529. Now the question being, can he get into a 65-second mark during the course of the hustle and bustle and the adrenaline rush of racing in these 2 20-minute plus 2-minute sessions?
Yeah, he might have a go, having got that time in so early. He's cruising at the moment, so he's not going to do it.
That'll do him.
It probably will. It probably will, because Trakan Tangtong, his Thai rival, he's 1 second adrift from Lewis, and I don't think he's going to. I don't think Trakan's, with the best will in the world, is going to find another second, because these lads are very fast. These top international riders. We're missing a couple this weekend, most notably the reigning champion, Gabit Saleh, who's going through the final stages of recovery from a very nasty injury he sustained in a Malaysian Supercross event.
I had to go all in, Baz, because Trakan Tangtong come off one of those jumps and he looked like he almost got it completely wrong there, but he just in the usual frame of a motorcycle, just when in doubt, power out, or when in doubt, gas it, and he just twisted the throttle a little bit more, and we'll see if he can come down from his 107.6. He's taken about 0.8 of a second off his qualifying time in just over 20 minutes. So, look at him, the body language as he throws that Husqvarna from side to side, wheel spinning his way through the final turn. What's he going to do at the moment as he comes across the line? Still not quite getting up there. The timing screen hasn't picked it up. 107.208. So he's taken a couple of tenths. In fact, he's taken 4/10 of a second off his time from the previous couple of laps. So he is right on the pipe at the moment. And yeah. Cornish is going to have a battle in his hands. There's no doubt in the world about that.
Yeah, so to put in a best lap after that scary looking moment on the dirt section you were talking about, Braxy. Very good indeed. Let's watch him over this difficult, sharp takeoff jump. Yep.
And
nice
I tell you what,
flat.
they're getting some air. That's about 15 or 20 foot or 4 to 5 metres in the new school of things.
And importantly, he's getting the distance as well on that jump, keeping it nice and flat. So worth staying with him, as I think Lewis is not on a hot lap at the moment, but Trecarn certainly is.
And Lewis, that final left-hander, Lewis said, one of the best front corners on the track. And Trecarn is on it. See the way he flicked it there, hitting the stops on the handlebars and the triple clamps as he comes across the line. What's he going to get now? 7 tires. He's only a few hundredths of a second out, but that just shows you how critical getting it all right is. Just one little missed timing at getting through the corners, and it can be very detrimental to your lap time. And it looks like he's buttoned it off now and thinking, well, I've given it my best shot. I'm in second position on the grid. Just see the way he attacks his jump at the moment. Not quite as aggressive as we've seen in the past, but still quite quick going through there. And as we know,
really good distance on those jumps, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, as we know, Corning's back out on track there at the moment. It's on the live streaming here on 23.tv, as well as the FIM Asia Supermoto Facebook page and the YouTube channel. And Lewis just having a look around now. He might put a hot lap in. See if he can crack a 65-second lap at the moment.
He's blasting it down to start a quick lap. Here he goes. We're riding with Lewis Cornish through this tricky first sector of the track.
And he's starting to get a bit of a road racing style, hanging off the side. Instead of just pushing the bike down, he's using a bit of all body language to try and get the most of it as he booms his way onto the dirt section, over the first double, through the whoopties for a second one. And then he'll come right high up onto the berm and flag it out of there. And now through this jump again, gets the lift.
Yeah, and again, like the other top riders, he's getting the distance as well as the lift.
Oh man, and sorry to interrupt there, but Trecarn's done a 106.946, so he's right on at the moment. There's only 0.4 of a second in it.
That's good to see, the gap shrinking.
That's why Lewis has come out again. He's seen the times coming down. You think, hang on, this little fella's getting too close for my comfort.
Yeah, when Lewis first came into the championship, I remember I was actually watching it at home last year. He picked out Trecarn. I think he was the first rider he picked out as somebody who could give him a really good run for his money. And
great camera work here, and it just shows you how hard they are riding these machines.
Yeah, and taking that amount of time off a lap when you're going as fast as Trecarn and Lewis and Kari Zakaria are at the moment is no mean feat to knock a couple of tenths off at a time.
Well, Zakaria and Oltang and Takayama might be taking a bit of confidence out of this to think, well, if Trecarn can get down there, so can we. It's just a matter of trying to get it all together. As on screen at the moment, we've got the Malaysian star, Kari Zakaria, there on his KTM, flying the flag for Malaysia. As I said a couple of times, Gabit Saleh not there this weekend due to injuries, and which has basically ruined his chances of defending his title from 2016.
I can also see, looking at the screen there, in fourth place we've got Naoto Takayama, who's been going very well all weekend, but he's done his best time by a margin of about a second. He's done a 108, just about a 108 dead, and which is a second faster than we've seen him do so far, and second faster than we saw him doing qualifying. So he's really found his groove as well. In fifth place at the moment in this Super Chrono session, with 8 minutes left on the clock. We've got Hazroy Osman, the Singapore rider. He's on a 1:13, which I don't think that's anywhere close to his best time that we've seen this weekend. Takashi Sasaki, not sure what's happened with him in this session. He's got a guaranteed sixth place if he just shows up, of course, but he started to go very well during qualifying to break into this Super Chrono qualifying.
So Zakaria looks like he's got that first section of the dirt pretty well nailed at the moment too, as he comes over with about 7.5 minutes left of this Super Chrono session to go. And we could safely say that Oh, I tell you what, he is giving it the big handful at the moment, coming out of there onto the bitumen proper, just showing how slippery it is at the moment as that dust starts to settle on the surface, making it a bit more treacherous to try and get the drive out. And that might have slowed him down a bit, trying to hook up the rear bag at the moment to get the drive onto the bitumen section as he comes onto the straight proper.
Yeah, let's see what he manages to do this time. He just passed his great rival in this series, or in this year's championship anyway, Trakan Tang Tong. Trakan was cruising around when Zakaria went past him. So what have we got now? 107.7. So there's a 0.8 of a second gap between Kairi Zakaria in third position and Trakan Tang Tong, who's done a 106.9, who's in second place, just 0.4 of a second behind Lewis Cornish, which is about as close as anybody's got to Lewis Cornish in any of the 4 races. We're now about to get into the 5th race of the season. It's about as close as anybody's got to him so far this season.
And by saying that too, Barry, that Lewis will have to be right on his game, because one little mistake and these lads are going to be all over the back of him. They've got someone to chase, and they want to let him know that he's not going to have it all his own way, that there is, and as you've said, they've really lifted their game up, I reckon, since the first round.
That's the great thing about having a major international supermoto rider coming into the series, as Lewis Cornish has, and given them a marker, because they know he stands.
And he
tall.
gave a great compliment to the series on the way home on the bus last night, was saying that you know, he races in the AMA, he races in England, he's racing in France, but his favourite championship is coming out here. And I'm not just saying that to promote the series, that's words from the horse's mouth, that he really loves coming out here, seeing a different culture, seeing different places and experiencing different things, but also with the live streaming that we're getting now, and actually people can see him, and the sponsorship that's starting to come his way as well. So everything pointing in the right direction for the FIM Asia Supermoto Championship, and it's it's performances like his that is opening up with the wild rumour for next year that we're going to have a few visiting Americans coming out here and have a crack at it as well.
Well, as one of the top riders in that series, he's raised a lot of interest virtually by default with some of his great rivals in that series. So wouldn't it be good to see some of those guys join this series too?
I reckon, well, it's a lay down misère that they are going to do from the little whispers that we're getting. And it hasn't been locked in yet, but it's getting closer by the second. And I reckon after this performance, it might have even come to fruition that they'll be ringing up and saying, have you got the dates for next year so we can lock it in?
I think so. And the coverage that this series gets seems to be disproportionately large compared to the other. They're definitely punching above their weight compared to the...
And Cornish going out there again and taking another couple of tenths of a second off it to a 66.255. So he's still out there having a crack, is Lewis Cornish on bike number 8.
So that's opened the gap up to almost 7/10 of a second over second place man, Trakan Tang Tong. So Lewis trying to re-establish his 1 second margin that he seems to enjoy.
Well, it's quite interesting too watching him come off the dirt section. Yesterday he was using a berm at that final corner. As he said, you're hitting that and you're straight lining out of the corner, but it's been getting a bit of wear and tear on it. So he's actually, as we saw then as he came off the dirt, he's kept a very tighter line, and he reckons that was slowing him down, but certainly he must have found the short way around that section now to put in his fastest time of the weekend so far.
Yeah, that was another quick lap. It was just 2/10 outside his best lap of this Super Chrono session, or indeed of this weekend, this round 3 of the FIM Asia Supermoto Championship.
So we've got just on 3 minutes left of this Super Chrono, and wouldn't expect that there's going to be too much change at the top of the leaderboard, as we can see by the body language and speed of Lewis Cornish on his Husqvarna. He's definitely not on the pipe at the moment. Coming into the pits, probably you might stop there on the exit of the dirt and have a bit of a practice start.
Yeah, take that jump again at an easy pace, but got a deceptively good distance.
You just see where he does stop for a practice up. And interestingly, Barry, that every time he comes out of that dirt section, he turns his head 90 degrees to have a look right across the track there. He's been doing that the last few laps. It'd be interesting to talk to him and see what he's actually looking at, because there's no big super screen there that he can have a see. There he goes again, having a look at across at Justin. He's maybe his crew chief that he's looking at, probably getting the signal to come in, or what do I do? He's going out for another lap at the moment and having a bit of a weave and a wiggle.
Yeah, I think he's just decided to have another cruise round. We got 2 minutes on the clock for this Super Chrono session now, but I think Lewis has found the limits when he did that 106.2 lap. He was really pushing hard by his standards. You could see him hanging off the bike, which he doesn't normally do in the course of when he's putting in his normal race pace. So I think he's satisfied that he's done the fastest lap that he can do in this
Never
Super
say
Chrono
that to a
session.
rider, mate.
I'm hoping he's going to hear it in the recording and he'll get wound up about it.
Well, I'll just point to you when he comes down looking for the culprit who said it. But
don't worry, mate. He'll recognise the English accent.
I hope so. I think there is a bit of difference between us. But no, it's great to see that these guys, every time they go out, they want to beat their time. It's the mindset of a rider, and even when they have a bit of a whoopsie and come off, they just put that behind them and get on with the job. As on screen at the moment, we have the Malaysian guy that's flying the flag for the Malaysians at the moment from the peninsula. Zakaria there in third position overall at the moment, trying to get into that elusive 66 bracket that the other two have got.
Yeah, last ditch effort here for the Malaysian Zakaria. He could get another lap in if he wants to.
Oh, big slide on the exit of the final
he's
turn.
on the pipe. Let's see what he's got this time.
67.8 that time, so
yeah, he was 0.1 of a second off his best time. Let's see if he can pull something out of his hat, because this will definitely be his last lap of the Super Chrono session.
Yeah, 15 seconds left. The checkered flag will greet him when he finishes this lap. And from the sound of things in the background, I think most of the guys have come back into the pits too to, well, recharge themselves as the checkered flag does come out to bring to an end this Supermoto Super Chrono for the third round of the FIM Asia Supermoto Championship here at CHANGHUA in Taiwan.
Yeah, Zakaria. He's banked his third place, his spot on the front row. Zakaria still giving it a go as he comes into.
Well, he can crack one out because he went past. I think he went past before the checkered flag came out.
Oh, he did, yeah. Yeah, this is a legit lap. Let's see what 107.6. So it was a quick one. Just about as quick. Was that just his quickest lap?
Not quite. He got down to
a few thousandths.
Yeah, a few thousandths of a second there. So as we look at the leaderboard, it is Lewis Cornish at the moment leading away with a 66.2. Getting close to that. Well, we thought it was going to be an elusive job there, but he's getting close to cracking a 65. Trekan Tantong, the 2015 champion, with a 66.946, and Zakaria there in third at 67.682 from Naoto Takayama in fourth. Hazroy Osman getting up to fifth position to relegate Takashi Sasaki there, who must have just come out and done one lap and thought, well, that's enough. I've in the top couple of rows. That'll do me.
I think he must have had a problem because he did a 110, as I remember, in the qualifying session. So perhaps there's a problem with his bike. We'll go and have a look around in a minute and see what the story is with Takashi Sasaki, because he's a man that enjoys his time on track. And of course, Kairi Zakaria, the Malaysian. He's the lone Malaysian in this series. We're missing the 2016 champion, Gabit Saleh, or Mohammed Habibullah, as he's officially known.
Well, I don't know the last time he was called that, because everywhere we go he's affectionately known as Gabit. And his smiling face is missed around this paddock, so hopefully that he'll be back in action for the final two rounds in Singapore. And obviously I reckon you'll have to chain him down to stop him racing at his home round in Malaysia in next month.
Yeah, definitely so. Definitely so. I think they're saving him for that. And of course, our thoughts are with Kenneth San Andres, who was very unlucky to be struck down with appendicitis while he was waiting to fly out here to Taiwan.
Probably lucky that it happened before he jumped on the plane.
Well, absolutely. He
well, not probably, very much lucky.
Well, that's right. He came out of the operating theatre earlier this morning. He's in recovery now, so our thoughts are with him, and we wish him a recovery. Well, hopefully he's awake and watching our coverage now.
They say the only reason you got an appendix is to give doctors something to do, because it doesn't do much anymore.
Is that a job creation thing, is it?
It is something like that.
Okay, well, Kenneth, if you're watching, get well soon, mate. We miss you.
And also that goes out to Gabit too, because I'm sure he's watching a live streaming there in his hometown in Malaysia as well. And we do miss you, and look forward to seeing you back, both of you back in action very soon for the 4th and 5th rounds of the FIM Asia Supermoto Championship. And I might duck down and have a word of wisdom with our top 3. So we'll be back very shortly.
We will indeed.
目前看起来，这个签名会排队人潮呢，已经开始慢慢的涌现哈。在难得的机会上呢，这个各国精英选手呢都可以来到台湾，好，那在这个难得的机会呢，想要这个获得签名的车友呢、车迷都可以把握这次的机会。那这一次这么难得的机会呢，这个亚洲杯这么多精英选手来到台湾呢，有些车迷呢可能也不是很了解哈。那顺便在这边跟各位简单介绍一下，目前亚洲杯这个 Supermoto 的 Championship 的这个积分保持在领先的是我们来自英国的 Louis Cornish 选手呢，车号8号，那目前呢是总积分第1名。那另外呢，来自我们泰国的这个5号车的选手呢。卡拉肯扛控选手呢也来到台湾，那另外呢还有来自我们马来西亚的选手卡拉兹扎卡利亚选手呢也来到台湾，那在另外2位日本的这个相当具人气的选手呢，然后都塔卡亚马选手呢车号300号也有来到我们台湾，以及同为日本选手的塔卡西萨萨基选手的101号呢也有都来到台湾参加这一次的亚洲杯的分站的比赛。那另外呢，包括菲律宾的这个康内桑安德雷斯，以及台湾的我们的佩哥林俊佩选手，以及印度尼西亚的贝德罗乌尔选手呢7号也有来到台湾。那新加坡的这位选手呢表现也相当的厉害，是我们的哈斯罗奥斯马选手啊也有来到台湾。那来自我们大陆的这个孙彤选手呢，借难得的机会也来到我们台湾呢。一起来参加这一次的亚洲杯盛会。那再来，台湾选手李威以及香港的曾威凯选手，共计12位选手呢来到台湾参加这次的亚洲杯赛事。那我们的签名会呢马上就要开始了哈，请车友以及车迷呢可以把握这一次的难得的机会。好，那个工商服务，我们帮中署要把麦克风抢走啊！如果讲出一些这种猥亵下流的呢，皆与本赛会无关。
好，现在大会的时间是进行国外的选手的签名的部分啊。现在选手都在我们的哈斯巴纳的摊位这边，也聚集了非常多的人哦。那难得这次有这么好的机会，所以现场观众请把握今天的一些赛事可以观赏之外，还可以让这些选手亲眼目睹，还有签名的一个部分哦。那当然，锐步这边今天除了选手，还有工作人员，还有 VIP 一些大会的工作人员，那可以来兑换。那兑换的话，必须找我们阿娟姐拿那个锐步的兑换券，那每人可以兑换1瓶。所以如果要兑换锐步的选手，还有工作人员、大会的人员，请找阿娟拿锐步的兑换券来这边 好，现在已经在进行签名的部分，赶快把握今天的签名的一个时间哦。